over a period of time, I've just realized that, no matter what you do, not everyone's going to like you, right? Everyone's got a different version of how they think about you. Everyone has a different perspective, and you're honestly not there to win everyone's heart.
We also make mistakes. Our parents also make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's not that we become something else. We are all making mistakes. We are all learning. But that ground must be open for a child to come and say, I goofed up. To at least one of the parents
Correct.
to come and say, I goofed up. I made a mistake. I goofed up bad.
Hello and welcome to Sisterhood, the show where we discuss threadbare elements of our lives that are changing all the time. As women, how are we dealing with both successes and struggles? We talk about challenges in its face and discuss how we can figure out all of those insecurities and our experiences together to make our lives far more interesting and live them on our own terms. I'm actually very delighted to have two individuals who are not just breaking stereotypes. They're breaking so many ideas at one go, whether it's generational gaps, coming together as a family, talking about things that are always in the discussion in the public space and in private spaces. Delighted to have Pranav Sapra and Mrs. Poonam Sapra. Thanks very much for joining me. I'll start with you, Mrs. Sapra. First off, you're now an internet icon. For being somebody who has just been herself and is talking about small and big things in the most simple way. How did this entire experience start?
So it was actually Pranav's idea that, Mom, let's do this. He explained his idea to me. And I said, Kya karna hai? He says, it'll be fun. So that was a very good thing that, anything for fun. So that's how we started. And in fact, you'll notice the earlier captions are all written on instead of a proper board, we used to just pick up scraps of cardboard. No? And it was just some silly thing we were doing together and we were enjoying it together. And we realized that people are paying attention. It was so exhilarating, We wanted to do better. We wanted to sit and plan it out properly and execute it better. And from there on, it just sort of took off.
Yeah, if I were to butt in, it was very interesting to sort of spend time together thinking of some creative post to do, or what should we talk about tomorrow and what should we post now.
Yeah.
And then once the reactions started coming in, they were so encouraging and overwhelming. It was a good learning experience for us. So we continue to sort of build on it.
How do you both sit down and say, let's put this out? Because in no way is this a trivial exercise, because now you're impacting change. You're making people rethink about themselves, their situations. So how do you assess that as the two of you?
So it just so happened that as this started growing, the pandemic came and things became very serious all around. Everyone was, we were all overwhelmed, and it seemed like a very good opportunity to just say things to let's calm down. Let's calm down. Let's start looking for positives around us. What can we smile about? And since we reside together, in fact, we have this kind of bond that we joke a lot. I just send him sometimes random pictures on WhatsApp, on his phone, on a working day, and just anything stupid and funny. So it's easy for us. It's easy.
I think you are a creator by nature. I think it was always in your blood. I like the way you said that. It came so naturally. There's something that I was very curious to ask you when I was planning these questions, which is that कभी-कभी लगता है ना, अरे मॉम कितनी बार लोग सेम पॉजिटिव चीज सुनना चाहेंगे. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what you said rightly happens. So, many a times she would say something and then she herself would sort of question it. Do you think people would want to sort of read something like this? Because, they have their moms telling them that, or they have their friends telling them that. Would they want another person who, they do or don't know is also telling them something serious online? So more often than not, our answer is no. And then we sort of try and figure out a creative way to say the same thing. But, but it's usually coming from a certain perspective of trying to talk about a particular issue or a particular aspect that uh, more often than not people go with the norm and not look at how things can be different and in a better way. So from that perspective, I think that's how our sort of ideation process happens. So she very frequently sends me messages of how she wants to sort of talk about a particular social aspect, or maybe a light-hearted joke if she wants to sort of portray that on the page.
Pranav, I have a question for you. One of the core pieces in your page is about how one should look at gender equality, gender respect, and of course, breaking stereotypes around women. Talk to us about why is that an important message for you?
I genuinely feel that with this age, I think we're already very educated in what's right and what's not, and how certain topics and certain things need a little more light, and certain women in a lot of cases are not very well represented. They aren't given ample opportunity to sort of come ahead and fly with all wings open, right? It may just be a small interruption in life, or it may be small hurdles that just sort of face. Everybody faces hurdles, but I just feel that this is something that we felt more closer to home. We felt this is something that we can talk about. It's just we felt that there is something lacking here. From her experiences, is the idea is just to sort of talk about things from our personal experience, from our personal understanding, without us sort of pushing that thought into somebody's head. We sort of leave it open ended for people to sort of borrow from if they want to, and learn and see if they want to sort of make any sense out of that.
Right. Mrs. Sapra, when you were growing up, I don't know, at least my hunch is that there were enough and more stereotypes around women. How have you, over time, over decades, unshackled them? Because हम बड़े जब हो रहे होते हैं, we always get impacted by what is the society's norm. And we are dished out these by our parents or relatives almost like this is only the way it is. So, how have you perhaps changed or evolved as a person over the years, particularly now that you are part of the entire effort to break gender stereotypes?
I have been particularly blessed that being an only daughter, only sister with two brothers, there was no difference the way our parents brought us up. My father taught all of us how to change a flat tire, how to fix something with a screwdriver. He made me also sit and learn along with my brothers, right? So there was no difference in treatment. But there were a lot of topics which we didn't talk about earlier, which now we all talk openly about menstruation. I think there was a time when it was horrifying to have, these products being advertised on TV, and everybody would say, "Kya zamana aa gaya?" But now we have to understand, those kind of changes. Yes, they're all good changes, most of them. But personally, I did not have to face any such shackles or anything. But I did observe, after I got married, there were people who were like, the way people were expected to behave as a daughter-in-law, and the same rules didn't apply. If the boy who got married, there weren't so many stringent rules as if relatives come, the bahu should be dressed in a particular way. In certain families, it was enforced quite a lot, and a whole lot of stuff about basically it should be equal empowerment. You do what you wish to do. You should get an opportunity to become the best version of yourself. It applies to both genders.
Mrs. Sapra, we in our country are beginning to have conversations about the importance of raising boys better than we have in the past. I mean, surely the conversation on women has been there and will be there for many, many decades to come. But this has also become an important conversation. Given that it's your son who sort of triggered the idea of doing all of this, I'd like to know, how have you raised your son differently or helped him be stronger about dealing with stereotypes and a fairer citizen?
Basically, I think every child is different, irrespective of gender, and child deserves or needs to be treated according to, their needs. One child may be an introvert, another child may be, not having very good attention span, whatever, you know. Yes, certainly as our society goes, I think boys need to be raised to be gentlemen, girls need to be raised to be ladies, young ladies. We are all learning basically. Maybe in some families, they are allowing their kids to just get away with whatever kind of behavior and cover up for them. One hears that they messed up and the parents covered it up. Instead of them having been groomed in a certain manner, everybody makes mistakes. We also make mistakes. Our parents also make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's not that we become something else. We are all making mistakes. We are all learning. But that ground must be open for a child to come and say, I goofed up. To at least one of the parents
Correct.
to come and say, I goofed up, I made a mistake, I goofed up bad. आज मुझसे बहुत बड़ी गलती हो गई. आज मैंने ये गलती कर दी. I didn't mean to. I didn't realize it will go this way. But this is how it is right now. So the parent knows what is happening in the child's life. Parents must know what is happening in a child's mind.
Yeah.
Absolutely having no clue what is their thought process, what is their kind of behavior, or just rationalizing their behavior or covering up for bad behavior. I think that is what leads to trouble, whether it's boys or girls. And if the parents are able to nip it in the bud and say, okay, you made a mistake, let's figure out together, how do we tackle this? You need to apologize to somebody, please go and do that. You need to make amends, go and do that. But I'm here with you. I will help you. You don't know what words to use, I'll help you. I'm here for you, always. Parents always have to be there for their kids, no matter what.
How do you both manage hate comments online?
So mom's got her page, I've got mine, and there are insane number of hate comments that happen. I would say more on my page than on mom's. And over a period of time, I've just realized that no matter what you do, not everyone's going to like you, right? Everyone's got a different version of how they think about you. Everyone has a different perspective, and you're honestly not there to win everyone's heart, right? I just feel that it's that person's expectations of something that they sort of thought that the channel or the profile or the person or the actor or the cricketer was supposed to act in a certain manner. And it's our expectations where we go wrong. That's how people are. So, so you can't do much with that because there's no widget that allows you to sort of fix. There's no regulator that you have control over that you can sort of
plug in
someone's expectations. So you have to live with those hate comments and sort of choose to ignore them. You can't make everyone happy in life.
Sometimes it's just about somebody being in a bad mood and venting.
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily about us. It's about how they are feeling at the moment. So
Yeah.
it's just best to just let it be and not react.
Why is financial independence important for women at every stage of their life?
Because that is the foundation on which they are going to live an independent life, irrespective of whether they want to get married, have a family, not have a family. That is the very base on which they are going to get their independence. What kind of education they want. Do they want to fund further education for themselves? They want to do some specialized, some training or whatever. And what kind of work they want to do. Freedom of choice of your career also comes once you build a certain, financial booty for yourself, right? So it's absolutely very important. We expect boys and men to be financially independent. Why shouldn't women be financially independent? Absolutely, they should.
There you have it, Pranav and Mrs. Sapra talking about how change can come with a little bit of fun, a little bit of love, and a great deal of spice because they have had to sort of bring together all of that's been going on, from hate comments to figuring out what others think of them as what they think of themselves. It's been just fascinating to see that journey. And I hope more and more people can take away from this that, social media can be a great tool of change. And these two have proven that. See you all at another episode of Sisterhood with me, Shaili Chopra. Until then, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay tuned.